Hello everybody and welcome to the May 2025 MMO Monthly, where we go over all the biggest news from the MMO scene in the month of, well, May 2025. By the way, because this is our very first MMO Monthly, we're also going to be talking about some of the biggest news from earlier in the year just so we can get caught up a little bit. For more MMO news, reviews, and guides, make sure to subscribe to my channel below, and if you do, I might just send a carrier pigeon with a letter of appreciation to your residence. Either way, let's dive straight into all the MMO news from the month of May. Okay, our first story is one that was almost the biggest story of May, and it is of course Dune Awakening's beta weekend. Now, if you missed it, Dune Awakening opened its server doors to players that had a beta key for a full whole weekend, from the 9th of May to the 12th of May, and yeah, there were a lot of people diving in. Even big streamers like Shroud tried it out, and well, to be honest, the reception was a bit mixed. On the plus side, people loved the aesthetic, the crafting and base building systems, and the buy-to-play monetization model that looked super fair. On the other hand though, the combat is pretty lacking. The PvE content is honestly quite bare bones for now, and the PvP has a bunch of balancing issues. I tried it out as well, and my opinion pretty much lines up with the general consensus, which is that if you like survival MMOs, shooter MMOs, or you love the Dune aesthetic, you'll probably like Dune Awakening. But if you're a general MMO fan who just wants a straight up great MMO, it's probably not gonna be worth the box price. At least right now. Personally, I would say just hold off on it for a while and see if they actually implement the feedback that they've gotten. Either way, Dune Awakening is set to release on the 10th of June, with early access for certain pre-order packs starting on the 5th of June. I did do an in-depth review of this game, so I will link that in the description below if you want more information on it. Okay, our second big story is that we finally got a good amount of usable gameplay information about Chrono Odyssey. This is a Korean MMO that has been in development for a few years now, and until a few days ago, we had almost no information about it whatsoever. Now, we do, quite a good amount in fact, and here's what you need to know. Chrono Odyssey is made in Unreal Engine 5, so it looks incredible, with insanely beautiful visuals and lighting to match. The world itself seems to be more dark fantasy than high fantasy, which is kind of an unusual choice for an MMO, but I'm not gonna lie folks, I love the way every location we were shown looks. Now, to flesh that world out, we're promised not just a ton of combat-oriented content, but also a ton of non-combat activities centered around gathering resources and crafting items, with an extra promise that you can definitely progress through the game with little to no combat. If you do like combat though, Chrono Odyssey will be very action combat heavy, with weapon swapping playing a key role, though for the most part, you will still have roles to fulfill depending on which class you play. From what we saw, it kinda looks Souls-like-ish a bit, which definitely matches the world aesthetic as well. Now, all that said, the big unique selling point for Chrono Odyssey is, of course, its time manipulation mechanics. We still aren't really shown exactly how this works, especially in a group setting, but essentially you'll have the ability to pause, rewind, and otherwise mess around with time to solve puzzles, explore areas, and even supposedly during battle. Now, this, in my opinion, is going to be something that could make or break the game. If it's barely a thing that affects your regular gameplay, the game could still be great if everything else is fantastic. But if it's a big part of the game and it's bad, oh, it's gonna be really difficult to overlook. Either way, hopefully we get a lot more information coming soon, because Chrono Odyssey is now accepting signups for its closed beta test coming up in June. I've said it before and I'll say it again. This is one of the most exciting new MMOs coming up this year, so I am definitely looking forward to seeing what the game looks and plays like when the closed beta test starts. Alright, so our last story for this month is actually our biggest story, and that is the official announcement of Aion 2, which, as you could probably guess, is a sequel to the massively popular MMO, Aion. This game is being developed by NCSoft, the studio behind the original Aion, and more recently Throne of Liberty and Guild Wars 2, and just a few days ago, they did a live stream where they actually dropped a ton of new information. Don't worry though, just for you, I'll condense it down to the most important information. First of all, the devs say that this will be quote-unquote the complete version of the game, introducing systems that they couldn't before due to technical limitations and budget constraints and all of that stuff. To be honest, doesn't look like they're lying. Aion 2 is a stunning game, built on Unreal Engine 5 with visuals among the best of the best, like Black Desert Online and Throne of Liberty, and the world is set to be 36 times larger than the original game, which is, I mean, it's just insane. Plus, that massive world is set to have a ton of solo and group PvE content and a ton of PvP content as well, from small scale fights to large scale racial conflicts just like in real life. On top of all of that, the character creator, good god, it is said to be legitimately insane. Aion 2 will supposedly let you manually adjust over 200 individual features to create any kind of character you can dream of, which is genuinely, truly ridiculous. Now, as for combat, the game will launch with 8 classes, just like the original, but unlike the original, where the combat was based on World of Warcraft's combat, Aion 2's classes are said to be much more action combat heavy. Now, there were rumors of this game being mobile first, but they did confirm in that live stream that it is made for PC first, and a mobile version will be adapted from it later on. So you don't really have to worry about any sort of mobile MMO UIs or anything like that. All in all, Aion 2 looks really good, and it is definitely the most exciting upcoming release for me. So I'm actually super hyped for it. Hopefully they give out more information in future live streams, and when they do, I'll make sure to share everything I know with all of you. Now, before we move on to the quick hits, I want to quickly talk about something that I have been using a lot for literal years at this point, and that is ExitLag. If you don't know what that is, let me just tell you what I use it for. The first thing is ping. I live in Asia, and some MMOs either don't have servers here or they have really bad servers here. What ExitLag does is it creates a direct connection to the game server, which actually helps me so much with ping and helps me, not rubber band around a boss fight, which is really nice. The second use is to get around region locks. Now, this is admittedly what I use it the most for because, oh my god, I hate it. I hate it when a new MMO comes out and it's region locked to just like the West or something. Lostark and Throne and Liberty are great examples because I really wanted to play those games, and in fact, ExitLag is specifically what I use to play both of those games in NA and make videos about them on this channel. Anyway, the point is, this is an ad. Get ExitLag. Use my link in the description below for a quick little discount. It's cheap, it's good, and I actually always use it, so I don't really feel like I'm selling out when I recommend it. Win-win. Alright, now before we wrap up, let's touch on a few of the smaller MMO stories that are still definitely worth talking about. First, and this is a bit of old news, Nexon have finally announced an official old school MapleStory server called MapleStoryClassicworld. Now, I don't know how many of you played MapleStory way back in the day, but I did, and my god, it was glorious. So, if you're like me and you love playing old school Maple, it's time to get super excited. We don't know yet which version of the game we'll be getting, and there are valid concerns over issues like pay to win and the insane grindiness of old school Maple, but I'm still super excited because, well, I genuinely love old school Maple. The game is currently set to release towards the end of this year, but I'll keep you all updated as we go. Next up, lostark is preparing a massive 2.0 update that brings huge change to the game, including new solo content, quality of life changes, new gearing systems, and much more friendly progression. Everyone in the lostark community seems to be very excited for this update, and the changes being made are pretty much universally considered great and good for the game. It definitely does look promising to me, and hopefully it also has something to help revitalize the game, which has been suffering a lot lately with a huge bot problem. Lastly, and this is probably the most insane and bizarre story ever, eveonline's devs have announced that they are creating a real-life medieval style book. This book will contain a foundational poem in the style of Icelandic poetry, written in collaboration with author Andri Magnusson. And here's the crazy part, it'll be written with the blood of players. No, not metaphorically, literally. Actual blood from players written on calfskin in Iceland. Actual blood, by the way, I just want to be very clear. Actual blood from players. Voluntarily given blood, and nobody's, breaking into players' homes and drawing their blood without consent. But, still blood. Now, this is super weird, but honestly, low-key, I actually think it's also insanely cool. And to be fair, it's very fitting for how insane the EveOnline community is. And it's kind of a way to be permanently memorialized as part of that community. And honestly, I'm kind of on board with that. I kind of like it. And there you have it. That was MMO Monthly May 2025, and we covered a lot today. But what do you guys think about all the things we talked about, from Dune to RuneScape, and about this series? Do you think you'd enjoy this becoming a recurring thing? Let me know all of your feedback in the comments below, good or bad, and much like my childhood friend Rick Astley, I too will never let you down. Either way, keep an eye out for more MMO content coming soon to a screen near you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.